Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host, Jarrod.
And I'm Edwina.
And this is our Once More With Feeling series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Today, Eddie, we are doing Season 5, Episode 10, Into the Thick of It.
Woods.
Into the Woods.
Into the woods we go.
Into the woods we go.
Into the woods we go.
This episode first aired December 19th, 2000, written and directed by Marty Noxon. Mm-hmm. Yes, Eddie, over to you.
This is a full spoiler podcast. I'm a huge fan, but Jarrod has never watched the series all the way through, and I'm trying to convince him it's worth his time.
And you said this was the worst of 3 specials that we're doing?
Yeah,
episodes.
So it's kind of that Season 5 3-episode run, and the issue is that you can't skip them because they are serialized.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you do skip them sometimes, don't you? For a first viewer, you can't skip them.
You sort of have to. I think you can kind of skip. No, you can't really skip. I think you can skip the middle one.
It's funny when people talk about skipping, saying recommending series. I've seen people talk about TNG, and maybe the first season you should skip it, but you can't really though. You can't really skip the episodes. Like you do have to watch them at least once to know something. And hey, it's your favourite show. There might be something in there you like, even if everything else is bad. There's still always something to.
Yeah.
Like.
So sometimes I'll skip the middle one that we.
Well, you've watched them 1,000 times. You can do that.
That listening to fear, I'd probably skip that one. Unfortunately, you do have to watch this episode because some big stuff does go down.
Well, we see the end of Riley, so that finally concludes.
Exactly.
So that's kind of a arc that's ending. So
yeah, but also you get the conclusion of Joyce's operation and that she's recovering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good news for her.
Yeah. So you sort of get the conclusion of 2 plot lines that have been threaded throughout this entire half of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's just get into the summary. I'm just going to jump into that. And then
So I wrote you 2 summaries.
You wrote me 2?
So I wrote you a nice short one.
Right. Oh, okay.
And then I wrote you a long one because I was in a really...
All right. Can I do the short one?
Do the short one then.
Do the short one?
I might have been in a slightly foul mood.
Okay, so this is the short one. Buffy's mum's surgery is a success. Spike shows Buffy that Riley is getting a crack house suck job. Spike and Riley argue, then commiserate. Buffy and Riley argue, ending in a stupid time-sensitive ultimatum. Buffy and Xander argue, ending with her making a stupid romantic dash to Riley. Riley leaves not seeing Buffy because he is too cool to look out the window while the helicopter is taking off. The end. Okay, that was awful. We get the gist of it. Yep, that's what happened that episode. Yep, I won't argue with that.
Yeah. Or do you want to? I did also do a proper one.
No, that's fine. I think we'll just roll with that. That's good. That's great. So what else have you got for us, Eddie? I'm guessing it's not nice.
Yeah, as you can tell by my summary, I'm not very impressed by this episode. It has
it shows
so many issues. This episode always has me screaming at the TV. The thing is that I always try to find the good things in these episodes.
Right, well,
even if there's an episode I don't particularly like, there might be something in there that is actually good. Like there'll be one scene that's really good. Kind of like, in Where the Wild Things Are, you have the scene with Giles singing and you've got Spike and Anya talking about the good old days when they used to be evil. Like, it's a terrible episode, but it had these moments that redeemed it. There's just no redeemable moments in this.
All right, so you got nothing positive to say. Are you?
Riley gets in the helicopter and doesn't look out the window? Yeah, that's about the best thing about this episode.
Well, I can think of something. Okay. Do you mind if I bring up something?
Yeah,
I thought the little conversation that Riley and Spike had was kind of a good moment. Would you say that's a good moment?
It's not really a good moment.
Well, he starts off like threatening to kill him, and then they just sit there drinking.
The stupid thing with the plastic fucking spike is what pisses, like this plastic steak. Like, who would go to that? It's like, that's just pointless. Like,
No point.
it's just
No pun intended.
ridiculous. Like, it's like the stupidest thing ever. But yeah.
it's him kind of showing he's domineering. Like, hey, I could have just killed you then, but I didn't. So
yeah.
thank you.
So, but it just gives Spike the chance to work his manipulation that he does on everyone, which is pointing out those insecurities, the things that you're insecure about, he'll bring them to the forefront, and they hurt the most when he points them out because they're the things that you already think about yourself.
Yeah. He's good at that.
And so Spike is just feeding into what Riley is already feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like that confirms it for him because Spike has said it.
Yeah.
It confirms it in his head. That
It brings
he is
it
right.
out, and when someone else acknowledges it, then you kind of have to deal with it then.
Yeah.
And that's his MO. That's what he does all the time, and he's really good at it. Yeah. So I thought that was a good moment. So, and there's nothing else, Eddie? Nothing else you can... No. All right.
So
So it's just all downhill from here, everyone.
well, I will say the rest of the season does improve from here
I
on
hope
out.
so.
From here on out, the rest of
I'm struggling.
like we've both been struggling with this. Like, there's a lot of other
Struggling
things
together.
going on, and yeah, we've been struggling doing these episodes because they're not the great thought-provoking think pieces that Buffy can be. These are just they feel like filler episodes until they get
Dreaded filler episodes.
until they get to the meat of the season, and it's probably something that used to happen. Like, TV shows don't really have 22 episode runs anymore, and this is why.
Yeah.
Is because you do have, like, you end up with these filler episodes that don't really help the show.
Can I think of those infamous filler episodes? Remember Lost? Remember was that other couple who had their own little episode?
I am probably one of the only people that actually like that episode.
It did bring up a few things that were probably nothing the characters were aware of. But the audience realised there was a couple little loose tie-ins that were thrown in there.
Yeah.
But again, you could take it out and it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I just shot a bear.
Yes. So I think it's been, so pretty much the past 4 episodes have pretty much just been back to back, which is very unusual for Buffy. That doesn't normally happen.
So each episode can be like a few weeks or a few days from the previous one, sort of thing,
exactly.
even months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very unusual. Like you might have 2 or 3 episodes, but not four episodes in a row that are just back to back.
And I think it's a thing in storytelling where it's kind of hard for characters to be in certain locations and positions when you follow it on from the previous episode. So everyone's like in a start position and a finish position at the start and beginning of every episode. So you can't really advance the plot too much because you're sort of confined to where everyone is at the moment. So there's not, someone can't be in Los Angeles for some reason, and or you've got to follow that narrative.
Yeah.
So you kind of you're restricted sometimes when you do that.
Yeah. So anyway, should I just jump straight into my Riley rant? Because
I'll get over and done with.
This whole episode.
I think this episode will be a Riley rant.
Yeah, this whole episode revolves around Riley and his insecurities, and it really does come down to the fact that Buffy and Riley don't communicate very well.
Yeah.
And a good example of this is Anya and Xander.
As opposed to a couple that communicate really well. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, they actually communicate surprisingly well, because when Anya was having those insecurities and feeling like she was just a convenience, she just outright said it to Xander.
She doesn't have a filter though, so she'll just say it anyway.
She was like there going, "You don't need me. You don't want me. I just provide you with lots of orgasms." Like, she just let it out, so to speak. She communicated her issues. Riley doesn't do that. So I do feel it's very unfair on Buffy, because I think she got a bit blindsided because she didn't realise there was an issue.
Yeah.
And then Xander coming along going, duh, how did you not see it? When he was also privy to information that she wasn't privy to.
Yeah.
Feels like also a bit of a slap in the face.
What, from him? From Xander, you're saying?
Yeah, like...
Well, I mean, it's hard to sort of say something to...
Xander never said anything to her.
But it's hard to approach people like that, you know, and to say that he said this about you. You know, I mean, how do you approach someone and say that?
Well, it does come down... Like, really all it is that Buffy hasn't said, I love you to Riley. Or he hasn't said, I love you back to him at this point. That's all it really is. But he has never asked Buffy, why haven't you said, I love you back to me? Like, he never does that. Like, he never initiates it, which is why he's like, you say you're doing this, but I don't feel it. You know, that was sort of his comeback line to her.
Can we talk about maybe, we'll still continue with the Riley rant, but I was reading somewhere that one of the issues with their relationship as a TV relationship was for Buffy to have a relationship, to have a stable relationship is too boring. And it doesn't, like, it's just, it just gets boring. So they have to create the drama in order to keep the story interesting. Because if they're all happy and everything, then they don't go anywhere. It's like the X-Files or the will they, won't they thing. Yeah. And the whole thing is so much more interesting in that aspect of the relationship of will they, won't they, than when they actually do. It's like, well, that's boring now. That's like that whole story gone now, that interesting part of the story.
Yeah, I guess. But...
So they have to make him a bit of an arsehole in order for there to be drama.
Yeah, but it just feels like he's a bit of a whiny...
It did seem weird that he would just go off and start getting sucked by vampires like that.
Yeah. Well, it really does have this cheating and drug use metaphor that's involved in that.
Yeah.
Like, because of where the placement of where, like, on the arm.
Yeah, she's on the arm.
And there's kind of also this masochist element as well where he's like, bite harder.
Yeah. He said it in this episode. It wasn't the last episode.
Wasn't the last episode.
He said bite harder, yeah. And also the setting that they're in, like dive of a place where you could just switch vampires with needles and it would be the same situation, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little unfair on Riley in that aspect. Like, he was set up as a nice guy, but they turned him into this prick in order for there to be drama in the show.
But at the time, I think it hasn't aged very well because you can kind of see the cracks appearing.
What hasn't aged well?
The way that he behaves, because what it does come down to is he also cannot handle her being more powerful.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if she had have managed to catch the helicopter, if she managed to get there in time, would he have stayed? Or would he have just said it's too little too late?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. Like, was he not going to go? I mean, they got to that point already. It's like, it's kind of done now, you know. See ya.
Bye!
Or would they be able to work it out? That's the other thing. Like, and the other thing is, he didn't actually have to leave on that helicopter.
He could have just driven off in the car. It didn't have to be that dramatic. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so he was leaving with that special forces team, but he knew how to contact them anytime. So he would have been able to...
catch the next one?
I don't know, try to work things out with Buffy. When that doesn't work out, he could have just called them on the phone and said, hey, I'm ready to leave.
And as he's going away, he's like...
Like, it's just this time-sensitive it's made out
it's a little contrived, you're right.
It's made out to be this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that he's taking kind of situation, when really he's just running away. He's running away from the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Not solving the problem, just running away.
Yeah.
And as he flies off...
Hasta la vista, baby.
And also, who doesn't look out the window while they're taking off in a helicopter?
Yeah. Oh, the view's boring up there. Nothing to see when you're up high in a helicopter.
It's night time. I don't need to look out the window.
No, just stare straight ahead in front of you and just like, yeah, there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
Well, as we know, peripheral vision is very
terrible.
underrated.
Yeah, no one has peripheral vision in this show.
I'm surprised he didn't make out that he could hear her. That'd be funny. He wasn't wearing headphones. You know how loud those things are?
I know.
They don't wear them because they look cool. They wear them because it's...
Yeah. But I do really get pissed at this episode because it is that thing where Buffy goes from, she's been so stressed out about her mum for like weeks.
Yeah.
And then she gets like this tiny little reprieve time, and then all of a sudden she goes from 1 minute thinking she's about to lose her mum to the next minute losing her boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's just, she just gets kicked while she's down already.
Right.
And like just as she's feeling like the weight's been lifted off her shoulders, it pretty much gets dropped from a higher height.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch like your protagonist constantly getting kicked while they're down already. But she doesn't just get she pretty much gets hit by both Spike, Riley, and Xander as well. And I don't know, it's also when I think I first watched this, it was like Riley sitting there going, "You don't love me enough," or she doesn't love him passionately enough. It does come down to him not saying, "I love you." Like her saying, it does come down to her not saying, "I love you" back. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's it. And then he's also cannot handle her power. And he wanted her to be vulnerable.
So he could help her. So she would depend on him.
But he also wasn't putting in that effort to do that as well. But he wasn't creating a space for her to be vulnerable in.
How would he create a space?
I don't know.
To be vulnerable.
How about I come over after you bring your mum home from the hospital and I help you do the dishes and we have a talk?
Yeah. Okay, that works. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Or how about, they actually just talk. But yeah, when he wanted her to be vulnerable, it was in the middle of a hospital hallway, a few meters from her mum and sister, at a time when she had to keep her shit together.
Yeah.
And that's when he was like, let it out. Like, it was an inappropriate time to be doing that. Yeah.
Well, he was trying. Yeah, I don't know.
But she wasn't doing things at the right time when he wanted her to do them. Like it was, yeah. Anyway.
Are you out of your mind?
Or, how about I help you shoulder some of your burdens? Like, just talk to her. Just ask her a question.
It just needs to talk. That's all you need sometimes. Just someone to talk to.
Instead, he just let it... he also had nothing else going on, which also I don't think helps. So Buffy was his number one priority.
Yeah.
But he was not her number one priority.
No, she had lots of priorities.
She had a whole ton of priorities.
Like these kind of apocalyptic world-ending things, and yeah,
yes,
always keep popping up.
Her mum
somehow.
dying, looking after her kid sister. She's trying to also work out what her Slayer powers are, or what it means to be a Slayer.
Season 5, still haven't worked it out yet. We'll get there. So, do you also think that it was a spiteful thing that Riley was doing to stick it up her a little bit?
Yes.
Getting bitten. Well, it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, he kind of said that.
Yeah,
a few episodes, didn't he, when you got bitten by Angel?
The fact that he was like, "Oh, Angel and Dracula had this power over her."
Well, had tasted her in that way. And
he wanted to feel what it was like. He wanted to feel what they felt.
Yeah. So there's a spiteful thing that he was doing as well, wasn't it? I guess the whole crack house and stuff.
Yeah, definitely spiteful. But the truth of the matter is, even if Buffy had made him number one priority, I still don't think it would have worked because, again, they're still not communicating. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they ever would. And he had an issue with her being more powerful because they're not equals and they're never going to be equals. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now my next rant is a shut the fuck up Xander moment.
Okay, so his little speech at the end is what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to actually break down the conversation with Xander.
All right, yep.
I was going to do the same thing for Riley and Buffy's argument. But it would have just been Riley going, hit me, blame, wah, 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 blame, wah, stupid time-sensitive ultimatum. And yeah, he really does blame Buffy for
everything,
for everything, and it's actually his issues.
Yeah.
And
it's his insecurities. Yeah.
And the fact that he isn't communicating it to her. And how do you fix something if you don't know it's broken? That's the other thing. How does she change the situation if she doesn't know there is a situation that needs to be changed?
Well, as you said, she was completely blindsided for it and then had like 5 minutes to react to it.
Yeah. And then, the leave at midnight thing, as I said, it was completely, he didn't need to do that. It wasn't this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
He could very easily get back in contact with them.
Yeah, he called them last week. They turned up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so
you wanted to talk about Xander's little
so I'm going to do Xander's.
rant.
So it starts in the alleyway.
Do I need to play the thing?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. Xander steps out and goes, I thought you might need to talk. Then I saw the skirmish happen and I was going to lend a hand, but I noticed you grew a few extra ones. Actually, she does sort of absolutely annihilate those.
Yeah, she does. Even the one that runs away. She's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, because that was crack whore.
That was the one that was shit busted sucking him off.
The heroin chic crack whore.
Actually, that was the one that was doing it. No, she's not getting away.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, she annihilates. Even worse, they give her the weapon that kills them all.
Gives her the Dasta la Vista, baby.
Yes, Dasta la Vista, baby. Yeah.
I just made that up.
Yeah, but yeah, she just absolutely annihilates them in 3 seconds.
Yeah, didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah, and there's 8 vampires. There's 8 vampires that she takes out and leaves that guy going, oh, shit. Whoopsie.
Well, yeah, bloody Master took her on and died, so what are you going to do?
Hungry? I've lost my appetite for this one. She keeps looking at me. I'm trying to eat and she looks.
All right. Buffy kind of angrily goes, go home, Xander. And she turns to walk away. And Xander's like, Buffy. And she's like, I'm serious. So am I. Something's up and you're acting like a crazy person. So that's the first thing I have an issue with is him telling her that she's a crazy person.
Okay.
Because well, it just pisses me off because other than burning the vamp nest, she hasn't really been acting that irrationally. And by the way, she's burnt down plenty of other places. Actually, she's
a pyromaniac, isn't she, old Buffy?
She's actually burnt down
the school.
Yeah, she burnt down more than. But then there was she burnt down the gym of her previous school. That's why they ended up moving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
to Sunnydale, and then she burnt down the science building.
Yeah,
and then she burnt down. She completely burnt down the school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think her and Faith burnt down. Used to throw fire bombs and shit into crypts.
Yeah, dangerous little pyromaniac, isn't she?
Yeah, not the first time she's burnt down a house.
And it's going to be the last time.
Oh hell no! No.
Buffy the Pyro. Yes. Right.
Cool. Fire.
And to be honest, I thought she was actually pretty in control considering the situation.
Yeah, it did seem an odd line to say, didn't it? You're acting like a crazy person.
Also,
a slayer slaying vampires.
Yeah, and also those vampires attacked her.
Yeah.
She didn't go and hunt them down.
Yeah, aside from the killing the one that got away, but again, she is the slayer. If she's not slaying vampires, then is she even the slayer?
Yeah. Buffy then goes and walks into some weird building that we've never seen before.
Yeah, just open it. I don't know where the fuck she was going.
I don't think she knew either.
Yeah, I'm just going to walk in here.
And then Xander's like, take this for instance. You don't want a deal, so you hide. It's not very Slayer-like. Buffy's like, just leave me alone, Xander. You have no idea what's going on. And then Xander says, no? Good. So you and Riley aren't imploding. Buffy turns to face him in surprise. It doesn't take a genius. What I can't figure out is How you never saw it coming.
Ooh.
Now this.
Yeah.
This fucking line makes
Jeez.
me want to punch the screen because he had information that she didn't have. Riley actually talked to him about his issues, something he should have done with Buffy, but he didn't do that. And she was completely blindsided by him. So I feel like this is Xander gaslighting her, like pretty much going, you're crazy. Well, first he did call her crazy.
Yeah.
And then said, how did you not see this coming? Like, oh my God. And then it continues because she's like, what? Who told you? And he's like, nobody told me, Buffy. It was right in my front of my Xander face. The guy would do anything for you. Again, not fucking true at all.
Yeah.
Because Riley had talked to him
He told him. Yes, exactly.
about the issues that he was having.
Mm.
And then Buffy sort of fires at him. The guy got himself bit by a vampire. He lied to me. He ran around behind my back and almost got himself killed. And now he tells me he's leaving and with some covert military operation at midnight unless I convince him not to. Now tell me that you understand because I sure as hell don't. Which is a very fair statement from Buffy. And Xander didn't know this information. He is surprised by this information. So he went into that argument thinking
he knew everything.
Thinking he knew everything.
Yeah.
And then Xander's like, you going to let him go? And she's like, it's not my decision to make. It actually isn't Buffy's decision to make.
Well, he gave her a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gave her like pretty much 20 minutes to get over something.
Yeah.
Like there was no let her think about it. Like she didn't even want to talk to him. Like she wasn't even ready to face him. And he's like, nah, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I
Gotta talk
guess,
about it
yeah.
now. So then Buffy's like, it's not my decision to make. Xander says, of course it is. No. Okay.
No. Yeah.
Riley made the choice to leave. If he wanted to stay and fix the relationship, he would have given her more than an hour to deal with it. If he actually really wanted to stay.
Yeah.
So Buffy's like, well, it's not fair. And Xander's like, who cares if it's fair? Well, I care. In about 20 minutes, Riley's going to disappear, maybe forever, unless you do something to stop him. And Buffy's like, what am I supposed to do? Beg him to stay? And Xander, in disbelief, why wouldn't you? To keep Riley here. Because do you know what?
What?
Do you know what every girl loves doing?
What's that, Eddie?
Begging a guy to stay with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, to show how much you love them, beg them to stay.
Yeah. It puts her in a awkward position, doesn't it?
Then Buffy's like, I don't even know who he is anymore. I mean, I thought he was dependable. And Xander says, dependable? What is he? State Farm. Now, this is my thing.
Do you know what State Farm is?
No idea.
I actually looked it up.
What is it?
It's an insurance company.
Ah, okay. Okay.
It's like, is he? What is he? What is he? The RACV?
Okay, that's probably not a good. Yeah. All right. So my whole thing is why is dependable a bad thing? Like I have watched girlfriends in relationships with guys that are not dependable, and they make horrible partners. Because you know what a girl wants? A guy that goes on a 3-day bender and then invests all their rent money in crypto. Is that dependable? No, that is not dependable.
That's very, very oddly specific. I don't do crypto, by the way, so I don't know where the fuck that came from.
I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, just in case the audience are like, oh, geez, what's Jarrod been doing? 3-day benders and crypto.
No, I was talking about girlfriend. I honestly was not. I was not talking about us.
Okay.
You are actually dependable.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Which, as what I was saying is, dependable is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just disappearing for 3 days is not a good thing.
No.
And then Buffy responds with, you know what I mean? And then Xander's like, yeah, I think you mean convenient. I think you took for granted that he was always going to show up when you wanted him to and take off when you didn't. And I'm like, well, yeah, like, again, I don't think this is a bad thing. Like, you don't want a partner that calls you 50 times a day while you're at work trying to do something else and then shows up for a date when you've already made a commitment to something else.
Yeah.
Like, convenient?
Yeah,
I know people have broken up because circumstances has made the situation inconvenient. Like,
yeah, I don't know what to say about that.
yeah,
Are we we still going on the rant? It's still
I'm still
Xander
on,
rant.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm still on the Xander rant.
I've got a few things to say, but I'll save it to the end.
All right. So yeah, this is an issue with communication and the fact that Riley had nothing else. You know, he really had nothing else on, and his sole focus was Buffy, and that probably made him feel constantly rejected by Buffy, because she, as we've already said, she had a lot more things that came first.
Yeah.
Than Riley.
Well, she's got a mother, vampires, and he's third. So.
Oh, I think he's even fourth or fifth because you still have to throw in college and.
Oh, that's right. She goes to college.
College and Slayer studies.
Are we going back to college, or have we just given up on it now?
No, I think this is also what kind of annoys me about the series is, they don't really. I kind of wish she got her college years. Like
So we are done with college.
Yeah, they're pretty much done with it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was this last season, and this season she didn't go to college. I don't think we saw.
I think she started going, and then all of the stuff with her mum's happened.
Yeah.
So.
Is that ever brought up that she dropped out of college?
Yeah, it does get brought up.
Okay.
No.
All right. So she actually has dropped out. Is that official?
Not just yet.
Okay.
I think she might still be in college at this point in time, but it does get to the point where she is no longer.
Yeah.
In college.
Done.
And then she, yeah. But yes, but college is still on the table at the moment. So as I said, I think he's probably like fifth or sixth in line of her priorities.
Well, I mean, that kind of sucks for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like, do you want to make a relationship work? Well, maybe he needed to slot himself into some of those other aspects of her life. If he was that concerned. Like, help her with the Slayer studies. Help her, like, go on patrol with her. Don't sit in a seedy bar all night drinking with demons and getting bit by vampires. That might have been a good thing to do. Like,
good
join her.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Join her with the demon fighting gang.
Well, was he still a teacher's aide, or was that just a cover?
Oh, that was just a cover.
Okay. He's way too dumb to be a teacher's aide.
Yeah. So then Buffy comes in and she says, "Look who's talking. Look who has Anya following him around like a lovesick puppy." And then Xander's like, "Oh boy, this is not about me." And Buffy's like, "Is she more than a convenience? Because that would kind of be a surprise." I do like that little burn from Buffy.
Yeah.
Because half the time he does act like he doesn't even like her.
I get that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Xander angrily is like, "If you don't want to hear what I have to say, I'll shut up right now." And Buffy's like, "Good, because I don't." So she starts to walk off. Xander's like, "I lied. What I think you got burned with Angel." And then Riley showed up. She didn't just get burnt by Riley.
There was another guy in there.
It's been pretty much every guy she's dated she got burnt by. And I guess Parker was meant to be the rebound guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you forgot that guy.
Yeah. He was the rebound guy who pretty much, she was vulnerable and opened up to him, and he pretty much rejected her. So I don't think it was just Angel.
No.
Buffy says, like, "I know the story, Xander." And then Xander's like, "But you missed the point. You shut down Buffy, and you've been treating Riley like the rebound guy when he's the one that comes along once in a lifetime." He's never held back with you. He's risked everything, and you're about to let him fly because you don't like ultimatums. And that's when she pretty much does the runner. So the shutdown comment, I'm guessing that comes from the fact that she hasn't said I love you back to Riley.
Yeah.
But I think they just aren't speaking the same love language. Now, do you know much about love languages?
No, I'm not great on love language. I can only say curse words.
So yeah, there's five love languages. So there's words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, giving and receiving gifts.
Okay, yeah.
And they're definitely not speaking the same love language. So her actions are also saying that she loves him. I'd say Buffy's love language is physical touch, and Riley's is words of affirmation.
Okay.
Which is why there are so many issues.
So I mean, you're saying Buffy is completely in the right in this and hasn't done anything wrong. Is that what you're going to say?
I haven't said she hasn't. Look, she's.
So what are her faults? You're saying that he doesn't get involved with her things, but does she invite him to it?
Do you always have to be invited to things?
Well, I mean, possibly.
No, it's actually about the fact that he hasn't told her that he is having these issues.
But like even when I think it's a previous episode where Spike mentions that she's gone to the hospital and she didn't even tell you. So should she have told him?
She probably forgot.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? She forgot.
Well,
that's not a priority.
She had a lot on her mind, and again, he wasn't around.
Yeah, I mean, but like...
Well, the only reason... the only reason Spike knew was because he was around.
Yeah, but I'm not saying whether Spike knew or not. The fact that she didn't tell him. Well, she could have called and told him.
Yeah.
But she didn't. Because she either forgot or it wasn't a high priority. To tell the person that you love that I'm going into hospital to see my mum. My mum's in hospital. So knowing that is a bit of a gut punch, isn't it? If you were dating someone and you found out through someone else that their parents were in hospital and they didn't tell you that, I mean, is it really something you'd bring up, saying, "Hey, how come you didn't tell me your mum was in hospital?" Like it comes off as a little aggressive, like demanding someone of that when they're in this situation, when they're upset. That hey, why didn't you tell me? So maybe in some ways he does sort of have a point that he wasn't on her high radar and he knew that. And he just sort of had given up in the end. Now, you can say communication's an issue, but there's only so much where you have to tell someone, hey, why aren't you doing this to me? Why aren't you doing that? You know, some people don't like doing that. Some people don't know how to communicate with that. Maybe sometimes you think, well, should I be communicating that?
But you're blaming Buffy, so you're blaming Buffy solely for that, even though she was in a.
I'm not blaming her for really anything.
She was probably in a headspace where she wasn't really thinking about anything other than her mum.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just sort of saying, like, if he's saying his feeling is not on her priority, and then Spike mentioning that how her mum's in hospital, him not knowing, is kind of a good example of how. Well, she wasn't on his high priority list to tell.
Yeah, I've already said. Yeah, no, she didn't. She didn't tell anyone.
She didn't tell anyone.
She didn't tell anyone.
Okay.
Because she also said when she started telling people, it made it more real.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying what she did was a bad thing or wrong thing, but I could see how someone could be a little upset from that.
My mum was in and out of hospital constantly. I don't think I had told you every time she went in and out of hospital.
Well, no, but this was the first initial time for her for that to happen, so it was a pretty big deal. I'm not saying what she did was wrong, but I'm saying I could see why he might be upset by that. This doesn't really justify everything that he's done or anything like that.
But Buffy had also said...
these are issues that sort of caused things.
But Buffy also said to him, she apologised for it.
Okay, yeah.
You have to realise she had already apologised for that. She had said, I'm sorry, I actually didn't tell anyone because the moment I started talking about it and telling people, it made it too real.
Yeah.
So she had already apologised for this and had already realised that it was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then he throws it in her face.
Yeah, we didn't need to do that.
Yeah. He probably could have said, what he probably should have said was, you've never said I love you back to me.
I think she'd know that though.
No,
wouldn't she?
Because
no?
that's probably the biggest issue here is that she never said I love you back to him.
Yeah.
Though one of the times that you've seen him do that, it wasn't actually her. It was Faith.
Anyway, all right, is that it?
All right. Now...
Giles, make us stop.
Oh, no. We've got one more Buffy's eyes begin to water as Xander's words finally get through. And Xander said, if he's not the guy, if what he needs from you just isn't there, let him go, break his heart, and make it a clean break. But if you really think you can love this guy, I'm talking scary, messy, no emotions barred needed. If you're ready for that, then think about what you're about to lose. Okay, so scary, messy, no emotions barred. I kind of read as code for obsessive, toxic, and manipulative. And these are not good things.
No, they're not.
And yeah, I think he did want what she had with Angel, but that was also a very toxic relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Buffy runs off and she does that freaking airport trope run, the trope of running to the airport
station.
Or the train station or the bus stop or whatever
or the
it
ferry. Sunnydale has all of those.
Yeah, this big romantic run gesture, will she make it? Won't she make it? And it's this big bombastic score, like romantic music playing. I did see someone swap it out for like different music that made it seem like there was a bomb on the helicopter.
The speed music.
Yes. Yeah. And again, like, do you think they could have fixed their relationship if she had have made it in time?
No. It was done and dusted. All right. So that
wait,
was... No, that's not the Xander rant?
No,
all right,
no.
okay.
And then at the
This
end...
is going longer than a Riley rant, by the way.
I know. I honestly think Xander pisses me off.
So can we talk about... It was a really odd speech, I felt. It sort of really came out of nowhere.
From Xander?
Yeah. Well, in general, it just really sort of came out like he just knew everything and knew what to say, and didn't... But he didn't really. Which it was sort of weird, and I was kind of like, what the hell is this all about? Where's this all come from?
Yeah.
And it didn't really make much sense either. Like, everything you just read out really didn't make much sense. It was written for a different character in a different movie, and they've just copy-pasted it in here and thought it kind of matched a little bit.
Yeah.
It just seemed odd. And now they're walking into the...
Not odd for Xander, because he does have these, shut the fuck up Xander moments where he does start lecturing Buffy about how terrible she is.
Yeah.
And all the mistakes she's making and all the terrible things she's doing to other people. It's one of those things where he'll just start blurting it out in front of all these other people without maybe taking her aside and talking to her about them.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unusual for Xander to do that.
No, yeah, and then she sort of agrees in the end. I'm like, this doesn't really make any sense.
Well, I think when she's sort of faced with that.
Well, apart from the Empire, which says, look, you got a choice. Do you want to go with him or not? But everything else up to that point.
Well, that was the thing. I don't think Buffy wanted to lose Riley.
No, I don't think she did. But it seemed like the choice was already made for her, and she couldn't really do anything about it. And then when she tried to do something, it didn't work. And,
the damage already done? But she didn't even realize that she had done the damage.
Yeah. So it's like trying to put out a fire when the whole house is already lit. It's like
standing there with a garden hose.
With a garden hose, it's like, oh, this is kind of pointless. A bit late now. So. But
if she had have known earlier,
maybe
she could have done something.
Guess we'll never know, Eddie.
No, we'll never know. But Xander also does that weird speech at the end to Anya.
Oh, what speech was that?
Where he stands there and says how he loves her wholeheartedly, like with all his heart and soul, deeply. It's like he just blabbers on. Yeah. So again, like they have very good communication skills.
Yeah, I guess they do.
Which is probably why they work.
For now.
For now. Well, they don't break up because of their communication skills.
Okay, I don't know what happens, but anyway, I'm looking forward to finding out. Are we done with that now, Eddie? Can we move on?
Yep. All right.
Okay. I didn't really have much to say about this episode, to be honest. Are you done for your notes?
The Black Ops guys were doing your favourite trope.
What was that?
Where they're standing in the dark room, like waiting for him to come home. Like, what are they doing?
Oh, yeah.
They're just standing in the dark.
Just standing in the dark, huh?
Just standing there in the dark,
Yeah.
waiting for him.
They're probably like sitting there like playing Twister or something and they hear, oh, quick, he's coming. Quick, everyone get up. Pack the shit away. And just stand at the dark, wait for him to walk in. Yeah, maybe. Okay, that's
Yeah, no, that's all I've got.
Okay, all right.
So had you seen this episode?
No, new episode for me.
All right. And did you go down a rabbit hole?
The name of this episode, Into the Woods.
Yeah,
it's based off a hybrid Grimm's Tale play.
It's a play.
And it was made into a movie just recently too.
It was made into a movie. It's a terrible movie.
Is it? It's got Meryl Streep in it, I think.
Yep.
As like the witch of from all the movies,
Yep.
all the stories.
I don't know. I watched it going, oh my God, this is terrible.
It's like a big mash of all the Grimm's tales. So you had Rapunzel in there. You had
Cinderella.
Jack and the Beanstalk was in there.
Yeah.
Something about the father was stealing beans from her garden or something like that. And she punished him by... So it was like, it's got all the...
Yeah.
It's like if you want the greatest hits of Grimm's tales.
Yeah. And I think Red Riding Hood's in there.
Yeah,
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they're not Grimm's tales, are they? Are they?
Yeah, it's like a whole mash of fairy tales.
Yeah, Snow White's in there maybe, or something to do with Snow White. Yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible. Like, I'm just not a fan. So,
Of what?
Of Into the Woods.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was based on a play, though. Did you know that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you never seen the play?
No.
No.
I just watched the movie and went, wow, that was a waste of time. And by the way, I love a musical, but I don't know. This one
Was the movie a musical?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's like one of those musicals where everything's sung,
Oh.
which I don't particularly like.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, isn't Cats like that?
Cats doesn't even have a narrative. So.
But there's no talking in Cats, is it? They're always singing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Well, apart from Cats.
I think Cats and Les Mis... So Cats gets away with it because the songs are the narrative. But we're talking about, like...
it's an actual narrative of a story and everything is sung all the way through.
So, like Les Mis, where every single line is sung.
Yeah. Did they do that in Sweeney Todd as well? I think they did that. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
I think they did that in that film too.
I can't remember.
I think everything was sung as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan when everything is
even
when they're talking.
And they're talking on
like
the phone and they're talking to their friends.
They're talking like this.
Would you like a coffee? Yes, I like a coffee. Would you like a coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee. No, we suck.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the name of what you call that when it's everything is sung.
Yeah. I think it's called It Sucks. All right. On that note, should we get into question time?
Yeah.
Answer the question.
All right, Eddie?
All right. So, which character was your favourite in this episode?
Yeah, I like Spike.
Yeah, everyone was pretty awful in this episode. Yeah, Spike is probably... Well, Spike gets rid of Riley. So
yeah, he does, yeah.
Spike's the little catalyst in this episode.
Yeah, he is.
Which character do you love to hate?
Is it Riley? Riley Finn. Which character do you love to hate? I should just say Riley Finn. Which character do you love to hate? It's the Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riley Finn. Yeah. Well,
I'm giving it equal Riley Xander. Yeah.
Yeah, that final scene was a bit weird. Yeah.
All right, LOL moment.
I did like the fake steak.
Oh, really? I've got Anya saying, I've been very good for this story. If it wasn't for me, Giles would be a terrified old man staring at a quarterly tax statement and wetting himself.
Okay.
Standing up for herself.
Yeah. Anya, Anya.
Anya.
Anya, Anya.
Anya, Anya. Favorite fight scene?
The Buffy versus the Junkie Vamps was pretty good. Yeah.
Like 3 seconds, she takes out like 8 of them. It's pretty...
Pretty nonchalant. Just,
she freaking annihilates them.
Just, yeah. Like it was
I
nothing.
don't think you've seen her annihilate like vampires, like that many vampires that quickly.
I don't even think she... Did she get a hit? I don't know.
They didn't touch her.
I don't think they did. Yeah, it was just bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she absolutely annihilated
And I
them.
think she even did the roll her eyes like, oh, God, I just really have fucking time for this, you know?
Yeah.
Can you guys piss off or something?
Yeah.
Not in the mood.
And she did warn them.
Yeah.
She's
like, maybe don't.
All right. Favorite scene?
So I mentioned before, I did like with Riley and Spike having their moment and then they sit down and start chatting.
And they're having a drink.
They're having a drink
they're
together.
passing this drink back and forth.
Like a scotch or something?
Yeah.
Straight out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I actually do have that as my
Oh,
favorite
see, there
scene.
is something positive. Yes, of course.
I think I said that as
Yeah,
well.
I
but
had to bring
but
it
it
up.
was the fact that, but it was also Spike being Spike, doing his little worm tongue, finding his insecurity, and just poking at,
And
just
poking the
rubbing
bear.
a bit of salt
I
in
know.
it, poking at it, and he ends up leaving because of it.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm just going to read out part of that. Like, this is probably the rub the salt in the wound
Yeah, all right, go
comment
on.
that he makes. He's like, oh, come on. You're not the long haul guy and you know it. Finn's like, shut up. You know it, or else you wouldn't be getting sock jobs from 2-bit vampire trolls. The girl needs some monster in her, man. And that's just not in your nature, no matter how low you try to go. I do like that comment. All right. Least favorite scene.
I think the Buffy run into the chopper was a little lame.
Oh, God, yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's too many in this one. But yeah, I'll have Xander. I'll go with like the Xander Buffy.
Xander speech. We don't need to go through that all over again.
No.
All right. Yep.
And her relationship with Riley, and
Yep.
Riley was the problem, not her. By
Okay.
the way, but
Yep.
apparently he made her.
Oh, we
feel
just spent 40
Yes.
minutes going through that already. You're not going to read it again,
Fine.
Don't read. No.
I'm not gonna read it again. All right, favorite quote.
I don't know if you just read this one. It was from Spike in that same scene. Spike says to Riley about Buffy, sometimes I envy you so much it chokes me. And sometimes I think I got a better deal. To be that close to her and not have her. To be all alone even though you're holding her, feeling her beneath you, surrounding you. The scent. No, you got the better deal. Fine, I'll do it myself. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Mine is Anya, and she says, "That's very humorous. Make fun of the ex-demon. I can just hear you in private. I dislike that, Anya. She's newly human and strangely literal." All right, who gets the wooden spoon?
I gave it to the Vamp Junkies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They sucked.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, come on. That was good.
All right, who's the MVP of the
Oh,
episode?
who's your...
Oh, it's Riley.
Oh, MVP. Did you ask me that? Sorry.
Yeah, who's the MVP of the episode?
I wrote down Spike, but
No, it's Spike.
it is okay.
It's
yeah.
Spike. And you know why?
Why?
Because he's the one that shows Buffy what Riley's doing, which starts
Yeah, but
the
he
whole...
was getting off from that because he's got his own ulterior motives for showing that, so he can split them up and he can maybe I don't know.
He was trying to split them up, and look, I'm
He's putting
saying he's the MVP because he gets rid of
Yeah. Oh, that too. Yeah.
Riley.
And yeah, he succeeds. Yes.
He succeeded.
Yes,
and
he
then
did.
he has that little moment in the crypt where he can rub a bit more salt in the wound and say all the things to Riley to confirm how Riley's feeling. And Riley left. So
Yeah.
yes, Spike gets the MVP
Well done, Spike.
because I'm glad to see the end of Riley.
Yes, you are. Is the show going to be boring without him now? No?
No,
No?
no.
Just better.
Just better. What do you rate this episode out of 10?
I'll give it 3 projectile planks of wood.
I give it 1 out of 10 fake plastic wood grain snakes.
Oh, yeah, that was better. And you gave it a high, and I gave it a higher rating than you.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Eddie. It's only happened a couple of times. See, I'm still generous. Even when something's bad, I still give points for effort. So everything's like a 3 or a 7, 8.
Oh, look, most of the time my scores are pretty high, but yeah, at the moment. But
No.
for those 3, I just can't.
No.
And as I said, season 5 is a struggle for me
Yeah.
on a good day. So,
Yeah. Well, that sucks too. All right. Want to wrap this up, Eddie?
sure thing.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode tonight with us. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. We are Nerd Subculture. My name is Jarrod.
I'm Edwina.
You are Edwina. And where can you find us, Edwina?
You can find us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. There's a Facebook group, and you can email us at nerdsubculture@gmail.com. And if you want to help out the podcast, follow the link tree in the socials for the merch store.
Yes, so like, share, subscribe. Show us a comment. Do you like Riley or Xander? Let us know. Eddie's rolling her eyes.
No one likes
No,
Xander.
all right,
Right.
no one likes Xander Riley. Anyway,
Then no one's favorite.
we'll leave it there. Take care. Bye.
I just shot a bear.